Newsarama.com. And I suggest you do as well.
Welcome back to Newsarama's coverage of New York Comic Con 2011. I'm Lucas Siegel.
Hey, Pete LePage here.
And we are here with Todd Mcfarlane.
Hey, gentlemen. How are you doing?
What's going on?
Not too
to be
bad.
here today.
Not too bad. Glad to have you.
Yeah, sure.
Well, first, let's talk about the toys you got in your hand there.
Well, you know what? They got this little tiny show that's coming out on cable. It keeps setting records. And it's going to continue, called Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
That first one's coming out
Brains.
This Sunday. I was able to go down to the premiere and see it. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
And then I took a couple of the toys that we're doing because I have the license for both the TV show and the comic books, right? Given that those are separate ones. But we were able to get most of the cast come in, and we were able to scan their faces to get their looks. But we also, I went to the guy who actually was the actor of this exact zombie.
Oh, the black tie zombie?
Yeah, because he's the guy that Greg Nicotero is directing one of the episodes and does all the special effects and did a lot of the costume work on Spawn 10 years ago. So I go way back with Greg. So he was on the red carpet, and I showed him his character that was here with and we try to do goofy stuff. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it bites. They gave me the wrong camera. Here,
Nice.
ready? Can you get him? No. See, he's the biting one. If we got other ones where you take off the heads. We got exploding guts. We got innards. So the goal is to make about 150 of the. Here's the other guy here, so you can see the likenesses how good they get.
Wow, yeah. Holy cow.
Daryl Dixon. The goal is to do 100 zombies and trying to figure out how to mutilate them 100 different ways or do some crazy play action in it. Because when I was doing the license with the comic book with Robert Kirkman, we go, why would anybody buy a bunch of zombies, Todd? He thought they'd all buy the humans.
Right.
And I go, no. If you write good stories, then they'll buy the humans. You leave the zombie sort of fun stuff to me, where you can take it apart. I mean, they're PG-13. Let me just put it to you this way. They're PG-13 in the package, and they're R-rated once you get them out of the package. So their mom will take them. She thinks it's nice.
Right. And
when she leaves, then you get to mutilate them. There's lots of guts and gore.
How involved are you in the design of all these toys when you're still getting these new licenses and whatnot?
You know what? It's interesting that I was listening to some of the stuff they said about Steve Jobs, sort of a little manic about having to have his finger on everything. I guess I'm like a mini version of that guy, especially because the company's got my name on it. So I don't really want anything going out that I haven't had a chance to sign off, make some kind of comment or do. I can't say everything comes out perfect. Both comic books and making toys is inexact science. And then it's sort of frustrating because some things turn out better than others, and then you sort of go back to the well again. But no, I need to see it all the time. But when you're doing something like let's say the AMC Walking Dead, it already exists. So it's not like I'm making anything up, right? So at that point, my input is to actually make it as accurate as possible, so it actually looks like what it is we're making, whether it's the Halo figures or the Walking Dead or the sports figures. I mean, there's something that we all have that we know what it looks like, which is different than me doing, Twisted Wizard of Oz or the Twisted Christmas or some of the crazy monster stuff we've done over the years.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than when you get a toy of one of your favorite figures and it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Well, that was it was the reason I started the toy company. Is I got frustrated looking at toys that were just bad, facsimiles of them, and a lot of it. I'm a sports guy too, and they'd have these guys in these generic poses, and because they painted the skin a certain color and put a name on the back, I was supposed to be convinced that was that guy. And I could sit there going, well, what are you talking about? You didn't do these 20 things. And and it's funny because we won a bunch of awards and people would say, Todd, how do you make your toy so accurate? This is for the sports stuff. How do you get it so accurate? And I always say the same thing. I go, look, I'm going to give you the company's secret. We use this technology. It's called a camera. And if you actually point it at people and you snap it, I go, the question is not how do I look at an image and make it look exactly like the image. The question should have been for 50 years, how did they look at images and not make it look like it, right? So they would do baseball players without batting gloves, and they, and they wouldn't put the basketball guys with the tattoos or the earrings, or, I mean, the photo's in front of you. Why would you not put it on there? I mean, they'd have hockey players that have numbers on their shoulders, and they would, to save 2 cents, they wouldn't put the numbers on it. And I'm going, wow, we're going to get the likeness wrong, we're going to get the accuracy of the nuance of the characters wrong, and we're going to get the uniform wrong, all for the sake of saving 20 cents? I go, no way.
And you guys have a new higher-end statue line coming out as well, right? Yeah,
well, one of the things we want to do is, one of the unfortunate parts of the economy sort of going down in 08, 09 was that those stores that I used to call my B accounts that were in the middle, these sort of eclectic stores like Virgin and Tower Records and Music Land and all these, cool sort of ones that would take all the crazy stuff that we would do.
Right.
They all vanished. And so the middle fell out. And so now you go, we either sell to the mom and pop and the comic stores over here that take almost anything, but not in huge volume, or you go to, Walmart and Targets and Toys R Us. But they're very careful about what they take. So we keep getting people saying, what happened to all that cool stuff, the monster stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so I go, we're going to do a new website that's going to pre-order stuff, and we're going to go get back into statues and bring back Spawn and some of the monster stuff and the things that people cut their teeth on. And again, even my sculptors who are not sort of big sports fans, it keeps them happy because they get to go back and do the little monster stuff, because that's what that's why they actually came to the company in the first place. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, well, let's switch it up and talk comics.
Okay.
Let's talk Spawn first off. Mm-hmm. We've had a big change, and where is Spawn going?
We hit issue 200 at the beginning of the year, which is a big deal for me. I'm always getting asked, Todd, you going to ever do a Spawn #1? We got the DC 52.
Right.
You going to ever renumber Spawn #1? And the answer is no. Will I come out with another Spawn another day that isn't a #1? Yeah, but the actual granddaddy Spawn, no. It's sort of interesting. When I was younger, the bigger the number, the more prestige it had to me when I was reading it. I mean, that was a value and a virtue to it.
Right.
And now we sort of, we make these sort of short-term business decisions in our business. I think it's one of the reasons why the community has shrunk in the last 15 years. And to me, I go, there's a lot of independent comic books, a lot of comic books, period. How many of them have had an issue #1? Well, the answer is thousands of them. Independent-wise, how many have had 200 issues? 2, as far as I know. Cerebus and Spawn. And I'm way more proud that Spawn hit issue 200 than 1. Right. That's the easy one. #1's the easy one to get. So the longevity of having a character out there is what I'm proud of. We've got a new art team, writing team on it that jumped on with issue 201. It went away from sort of traditional American superhero look, and it's sort of this almost a film quality look to it. The artist on is a kid I found on Twitter. All the way from Poland. I said, hey, you think you got what it takes? Send me your links, and I get them 200 at a time, and 99% of them are forgettable. And this kid was a diamond in the rough. But I actually thought he was a pro. And I saw his pages, and it was Batman pages, and I said, what issue is it, so I can go look at the rest of your work? And he went, no, those are just samples. And I went, boom, I picked him up. He's going to do 15 issues of the writing and the artist team are going to do 15 issues of Spawn. So not only are we the only book that's going to have 15 issues, but it's going to all be by the same team. Because a lot of times they go bi-weekly, but they're rotating the teams out, which is, again, as a guy who read books, always aggravated me. I like stability with the creative teams as much as I could. So it's going dark, and it's more about the character and about sort of what happens if you have powers minus the costume. How does the world react to it? So,
what's it like taking that step back? You've done it a couple times before. You always kind of wind up coming back and needing to get your own personal hands back on your character. But what is it like when you do take a step back? What does it take for you to do that?
Well, I'm involved with the comic books in terms of the plotting and the story and everything else. I even sort of write some of the pages when nobody's looking. So I'm still involved.
So you took half a step back, maybe.
Yeah. Well, right now the look and the read and the feel of the book is a lot closer to if we ever get the next movie off the ground, is going to be what that's going to look like. Right. So everything from like 201 up is closer to the movie feel of it, because again, the movie idea is not a big bravado, action pack, special effects, against a villain. It's a low budget sort of idea. We just had an Academy Award actor come out to the office who wants to be involved in it, and he's going, "Come on, Todd, we got to get this thing going here." And really, it's the same answer. They're just waiting for my script, because I keep saying it's got to be my script. Right. And they all say, "Yeah, fine. Where is it?" I mean, it's a simple answer. So they're always phoning me. I got to deliver it. I get distracted with some of these other things that we end up doing, but we'll get it out there. It'd be an R-rated, dark, sort of gritty thing.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. No, again, they do with the Avengers and Green Lantern and Batman. There's plenty of cool, big pow-zowie superhero action stuff that fills that void. Yeah. So to me, I'm going, I want to find my groove someplace else that's off to the side. So people who, may like things like The Grudge and The Ring, then this would be more their cup of tea. Yeah. Very
cool. And of course, rounding it out, you're also working in video games. You have your game. It's on the way. It's coming early next year. Right. Why don't we talk a little bit about Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning?
Yeah. A few years back, Curt Schilling, pitcher for the Phillies and Diamondbacks and the Red Sox, and I met him. I met him in Arizona, which is where I live, right? When we won the World Series. Anyway, Curt was thinking about going post-athletic career. Right. And he'd been a gamer forever, so he wanted to start a gaming company. Started an MMO, brought me on board as the executive art director. I told him I didn't want to be a concept artist. I wanted to have sort of control over all of it, which meant, I have to sign off on what the special effects look like, the backgrounds, the lighting, even the fog effects, besides the character and the modeling and the color. I mean, all that stuff, and the animation, which was a big deal to me, right? So I go, if you let me have sort of final say on all that, I'm your guy. And he said, fine, let's go. We rock and roll. Now, fast forward, Curt ends up jumping and buying a console game development house, Big Huge Games, and that's the game that's going to be coming out in February that EA put some money into. And again, we're going to get a lot of the big games coming out at Christmas. We're going to come out at February 7th. It's a role-playing game. And what we're trying to do is to make it a little sort of bigger and wider and deeper, more complex of a role-playing game, RPG game. But at the same time, if you're going to go into any of the action, it's going to be the best action you've ever seen in an RPG, bar none. Because as a guy like me who's not the biggest gamer, it's always curious to me when I look at some of these games why things aren't happening, right? I mean, and it's silly stuff like why when you hit somebody to the left, they don't fall to the left? And why when you got a 20-foot person in front of you, you're not slashing up, and you got a midget in front of you, you're not slashing down? Everybody is sort of doing this same robotic move all the time. I mean, there's limitations of why you have to get there. Right. But even if you just tweak those things, then people will notice it, right? I mean, it's the old concept. I don't know what art is, but I know what I like, and so. As long as they just walk away and go, wow, this game's cool, then we will have done our job. I could bore you the 50 things we did, I think, to upgrade it. But as long as they just go, it just feels cooler and it just plays better, then we'll have accomplished our goal.
Very cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time and talking with us. It's an honor.
Not talking with you, talking at you. You guys just sit here. Come on.
We don't need to. That's why we like having you on the show every time, because we can just sit here,
just throw you the softballs, let you knock it out.
Yeah. That's it. Well, we appreciate you guys, coming out here and giving credence to all things geek, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, again, which is nice because when I was younger, you used to have to sort of be a geek in the closet, right? Oh, yeah. You had to hide it and stash it. And now, as you can see behind us here, it's kind of a badge of honor to be a geek, which is awesome.
And it's big business.
Oh, and the world is realizing, right? That all of us, as we get older, especially as boys, we get older, we don't really sort of outgrow our childish ways. We just figure out how to spend more money on it, right?
Right. Well, unfortunately, yes, that does seem to be the case. So thank you so much for chatting with us, Todd, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for much more from Newsarama at New York Comic Con 2011.